I want to stay as anonymous as possible, because what happened to me wasn't just traumatic, it scarred me for life. I suffer from PTSD because of it, and even now, thinking back sends chills down my spine. I've changed all names and places in this story to protect my identity. I've always been a quiet, reclusive person. Ever since I was a kid, I struggled with social interaction. My teachers used to tell my parents that I had antisocial behavior, and I'd be pulled into special classes for speech and behavior in elementary school. I never understood why it was just me and not the rest of my class. Middle school only made it worse. When kids started forming their little friend groups, and I wasn't part of any of them. High school was no better. I never had learning disabilities, but I was always awkward. Over the years, I got better socially, but deep down, I was still that introverted, quiet kid. Luckily, I did eventually make a few close friends, and that helped. Dating, however, was a whole different story. I didn't lose my virginity until I was 21. That's not a huge deal, but it plays into how this all unfolded. By the time I was 23, I had a stable, high-paying job and had bought a 2-story townhouse in my hometown. It was nice, spacious, clean, and impressive for someone my age. That's where I met Emily. We matched on Tinder. She seemed cute, smart, and really into me. Our first date felt awkward on my end, but she texted me afterward saying she had a great time. I was thrilled. Soon, one date turned into 2, then 3, then more. We became official pretty quickly. Everything felt perfect at first, but things changed fast. She became clingy. At first, it was little things, texting me constantly, getting upset if I didn't reply fast enough. Then, she insisted we share our phone locations. I didn't love the idea, but I had nothing to hide, so I agreed. That decision would haunt me. She started interrogating me whenever I was at a friend's house. One night, I was hanging out at my friend Phil's place with some buddies, and she showed up at his door. Phil's mum had to walk her downstairs. She was yelling at me in front of everyone, furious that I wasn't answering her texts about a winery trip she wanted to take the next day. I was shocked, embarrassed. She demanded to come home with me, but I refused. That night, I texted her, saying we needed a break. I was honestly afraid of how she'd react in person. She didn't take it well. She started calling nonstop, banging on my door, ringing the bell over and over. It was so intense that my neighbor came outside and asked her to leave. I sat inside, my ear pressed against the door, heart pounding. Eventually, she left. The next day, I stopped sharing my location with her. She noticed right away and blew up my phone with angry messages. That only confirmed I made the right decision. Her final message from that number ended with, "You're scaring me." I blocked her. I thought it was over, but it was just beginning. A week later, I was back at Phil's house. I left around 11 p.m. and got home, hungry and in the mood for a late-night movie. As I was heating food and flipping through horror movies, I heard a strange sound like a door clicking open from the dining room. I muted the TV. Complete silence. Then I heard it again. I shouted, "Who's there?" No answer. I walked slowly into the dining room, and that's when I saw it. One of the doors I always kept shut was now wide open. My blood went cold. I rushed to the kitchen, grabbed the biggest knife I could find, and called 911. I yelled loudly so whoever was in the house could hear I was on the phone with the police. I think my crazy ex-girlfriend broke into my house. Please send someone. They told me to wait outside. I did. Soon, a police car pulled up. We searched the entire house together. Every closet, every crawl space, the attic, under the beds. No sign of her, nothing. I was shaken. I reheated my food, locked my bedroom door, and tried to sleep. That's when I got the text from a random number. It was her. She wrote long paragraphs about how sorry she was and how she wanted to talk. Then the messages changed. Are you awake? Wake up. Over and over. 8 times. Why? I replied. Why are you texting me like this? It's the middle of the night. You're scaring me. Please, leave me alone. Seconds after I hit send, I heard a scream from inside my bedroom closet. It was her. She burst out, yelling no, and charged at me. I barely had time to react. I bolted out of the room, slammed the door shut behind me, and held it with all my strength. She started stabbing through the door with a knife right near where my side was pressed against it. In desperation, I screamed, "Baby, I love you. Stop." And she did. She paused, breathing heavily on the other side. I kept the act going. I told her I'd been struggling mentally and that I wanted to get back together. She asked me to open the door. I told her I was scared and needed her to drop the knife. After some back and forth, she agreed. I heard the knife clatter across the room. I opened the door and tackled her to the floor. She screamed and fought me, but I held her down and screamed my address into the phone, still connected to 911. I didn't let go until the cops kicked the door in. A full team rushed in and restrained her. She was crying hysterically. I didn't cry. I couldn't. I was in shock. That night was the most horrifying, traumatizing experience of my life. And the nightmare didn't stop there. I had to go through a long, intense legal process to get her convicted. She's in prison now, but no part of this makes me feel victorious. This was someone I thought I loved, someone I shared my life with, someone who tried to kill me, and I never saw it coming. I still carry the guilt, wondering if I missed the red flags because I was so desperate to be liked, presumed to impress someone, to feel wanted. I share this story now anonymously because if someone out there is going through something similar, please pay attention to the sign. Bye. And please trust your gut.